Kia ora, my name's Shelby, and today we're just doing a quick story on this disaster that happened here, 9/11. I actually still remember it. I was pretty young when it happened, but the day dawned like so many others in New York, with busy New Yorkers bustling their way to work alongside tourists eager to see the sights. At airports across America, people boarded airplanes for rendezvous with loved ones, for business meetings or holiday. At 8:46 a.m., New York and the world was changed forever. An American Airlines Boeing 767-223ER Flight 11 out of Boston and bound for Los Angeles International Airport crashed into the northern facade of the North Tower, which was Tower 1 of the World Trade Center. The twin skyscrapers that had come to symbolize New York and America to the world. All 81 passengers and 11 crew died instantly. At first it was believed the terrible accident had occurred, but that belief was dispelled when a second airliner, United Airlines Flight 175, a Boeing 747-200ER, came into view and headed for the south facade of the South Tower, Tower 2, hitting at 9:03 a.m. All 56 passengers and 9 crew died. The horror was magnified because the incident was seen live on television. Meanwhile, 2 more airlines had been hijacked, and one was heading for the Pentagon, and the other was believed to be making for the White House or the Capitol. President George W. Bush was not at Pennsylvania Avenue at the time. The Boeing 757 thought to be heading for the White House was United Airlines Flight 93, 42 minutes late, bound for San Francisco out of Newark, New Jersey, with 37 people on board. At 9:28, 4 Muslims took over the plane, and at 9:43 a.m., Todd Beamer, a 32-year-old salesman with computer firm, used an earphone and gave a, quote, very calm, quote, details of the terrible events to the airline's ground-based supervisor, Lisa D. Jefferson. At 9:36 a.m., the hijackers had taken the plane off its planned flight path, and a minute later, at 9:37 a.m., American Airlines Flight 77 plowed into the Pentagon. Through Mr. Beamer's conversation with the United Airlines base and other mobile calls, the passengers aboard Flight 93 were aware that their other aircraft had crashed into iconic symbols on America's East Coast. Mr. Beamer and other men on the flight decided that they try to retake the plane. They had to try and retake the plane. Mr. Beamer and Miss Jefferson recited the Lord's Prayer together, and then he spoke the 23rd Psalm. She then heard him say to other passengers, "Are you guys ready? Okay, let's roll." And then at 10:03 a.m., United Airlines Flight 93 crashed into a field near Shanksville in Stony Creek Township, Somerset County, Pennsylvania, about 240 kilometers, which is around 150 miles northwest of Washington, D.C. Meanwhile, 4 minutes earlier, the South Tower had collapsed, followed 24 minutes later by the North Tower. At 5:20 p.m., 7 World Trade Center also known as the Salmon Brothers building, also collapsed. The official death toll that day varies depending on what source you believe. It is believed that more than 2,800, including the 157 aboard the two airplanes that crashed in the World Trade Center, 64 on the ground on the plane that hit the Pentagon, and a further 125 died on the ground. 44 died in Pennsylvania on board the fourth plane. The Fire Department of New York recorded the deaths of 343 of its personnel, while New York Police Department lost 23. Aftermath. As the events of the terrible day were pieced together, it became apparent that 19 Muslim fanatics had been responsible for the carnage. The men were members of Al-Qaeda, a loosely linked grouping of terrorist cells and funded by the Saudi Arabian billionaire Osama bin Laden, a former ally of America in the war against the Soviet Union in Afghanistan. On 20th of September 2001, President George W. Bush declared a war on terror. His staunchest supporters were Prime Minister Tony Blair of the United Kingdom and Prime Minister Aznar of Spain. It was to cost both men their jobs. Troops invaded Afghanistan on 7th of October 2010. 7th of October, not 2010, 2001, to depose the Taliban, who was believed had given succor to Al-Qaeda. On 19th of March 2003, the Second Gulf War began, a conflict that had left Iraq unstable. Its president, Saddam Hussein, died on the gallows on 30th of December 2006. Bush labelled Iran, North Korea and Iraq as the axis of evil. In May 2006, an incredible 42% of polled Americans believe that their government and the 9/11 Commission had crucial evidence for or refused to investigate evidence that contradicted the official verdict of the events of 9/11. You should know the hijackers were Mohammed Atta, Abdulaziz Al-Omari, Walid M. Al-Shahidi, Al-Shiri, Satam Al-Sukami, Marwan Al-Shadi, Fayez Ahmed Al-Ghamdi, Hamza Al-Ghamdi, Mohid Al-Shahiri, Hani Hanjur, Khalid Al-Midha, Nawaf Al-Hamzi, Salim Al-Hamzi, Mahid Markid. I'm so sorry. I'm going to actually just copy and paste this into the comments later. Saeed Al-Ghamdi, Zajara, Ahmed Al-Nami, and Ahmed Al-Haznawi. But yeah, there was more to the story when it comes to the behind the scenes, the reasons why, and government did hide official evidence and didn't investigate deeper. So I know now that it's happened so long ago, there's more information came up. I'm going to look into this one and do like a deep dive later on at a later date. Anyway, I'm running out of time for this video. Hope you enjoyed. Stay safe and please subscribe.